We have a huge battle of the Soulsbornes coming this fall, and front and center we have the matchup of Lies of P and Lords of the Fallen. I couldn't be more happier because these two look amazing. At first glance, Lies of P seems to be the one that is doing something we haven't seen before, telling a story of Pinocchio, of all characters, going into this Souls-like atmosphere and formula with this character and the story that's going to be presented. The plot is going to be centered around whether we want to tell lies or not. As seen in the official trailer called How Many Lies, it concludes with the words, "How many lies would you tell to be human?" And I love that. I love how that line is delivered. It sounds so good, and it really gives us more to think about going into this game, that the story might be a little more front and center than we're used to. Souls can be regarded as full of lore and the story not being so upfront and obvious. Lies of P could change that a bit and give us more of an obvious story, more of an obvious plot, and something that newcomers I think can get behind even more so when diving in for the first time. As for its style, it's clearly inspired by Bloodborne. We've known this for a while. It's been marketed as so. The devs know it, we know it, and we're gonna get our hands on it and actually feel it. If we don't parry in this game, we're going to be in trouble. After playing the demo, that was pretty clear to see that if we don't parry, we may make it much harder for ourselves. Also, we have this mechanic of sharpening and repairing our weapons on the fly, just like this, and that adds a bit of a different flavor we haven't seen before with many games. The bosses and the atmosphere clearly are going to have this eerie kind of horror-like feel to it, and if you're into that, this is probably going to look more appetizing for you. Just by looking at the atmosphere, it looks dreadful in all the right ways, where we're checking corners, we're taking our time. Obviously, we don't want to hack and slash. We want to be methodical with our gameplay, as with most Souls-likes, but in this one I feel it's even more important because it's very close quartered at times. These enemies can be really tough, and the bosses too look like they're going to be very tough as well. Even with a learning curve, and if this game proves to be that difficult, I do feel like newcomers will stick around a bit longer because of the environment, because of the plot, because of the character even, much like Bloodborne and that effect it had on gamers with the atmosphere and the music and how beautiful it was to look at and experience. I feel like that could happen here with Lies of P. So even when people are getting their butts kicked, they're going to be motivated to give it one more try. Compared to something like Lords of the Fallen, which I feel is much more along the lines of Dark Souls and Elden Ring, I feel like Lies of P will be way more welcoming for the newcomers just because of how different it looks. Lords of the Fallen, on the other hand, is going to have unique aspects about it, but just at a glance and by looking at it, it looks way more like a love letter to Dark Souls. The environments, the combat, the bosses, the NPCs, the story, and the lore, it's all very Dark Souls. And like I said, kind of more along the lines of Elden Ring compared to Bloodborne with Lies of P. It just has that more traditional style of Souls-like graphics and gameplay. You have mage abilities, there's classes, create a character. The combat is very reminiscent of Dark Souls and Elden Ring. So when we look at Lords of the Fallen, we're gonna think, yeah, this is straight up Dark Souls in comparison to Lies of P, where that's straight up more so like Bloodborne. But when we actually sit down and play Lords of the Fallen, that's when we're gonna see and feel the differences and the unique changes and abilities that the game has. Both games do a great job of delivering that Souls-like atmosphere and the formula in its own way, while also showing us that they just simply look very Souls-like in their delivery. From entering a new area to the boss fights and how they're presented, fog doors, stuff like that, we're gonna see a lot of that with both. But both of them are also going to have very big differences in mechanics and gameplay, and that's going to be interesting to experience for all of us. It's really just going to depend on your mood, I feel, and what you're more interested in. Did you like Elden Ring more than Bloodborne? That could be a reason why you choose Lords of the Fallen, and vice versa. If you're a huge Bloodborne fan, you might not even question it and you're just going straight up with Lies of P. Here's the scoop on the pricing and release dates, all right? Maybe this will help you out as well. Lies of P releases September 19th for $59.99. It's also going to be on Game Pass, which is a huge deal. Game Pass day one. However, if you do pre-order the game, which would require money beyond Game Pass, you get to play the game 3 days early. So if you want to spend the money, there's some incentive right there. Lords of the Fallen releases on October 13th at $69.99 for the standard edition and $79.99 for the deluxe on consoles. Now on Steam, it's only $59.99 for the standard. So if you're a PC gamer, that's good news for you. Remember too that Lords of the Fallen has been marketed as the first true next-gen Souls. Unreal Engine 5, all the bells and whistles, next-gen graphics, so that price could be because of that, but also it does look that good. It does look like it is that next-gen feel for the next-gen Souls game, and if that gets you excited, then that extra cash could be worth it. But if you're trying to save money, you have Game Pass, playing Lies of P is a no-brainer. Of course, you have to play it. But again, if money is tight, you're looking for, what's the best option because you can only get one, those are some things to think about, okay? Those factors right there. Don't be mistaken either, because Lies of P is also on Unreal Engine and it's gonna look beautiful as well. So either way, we're in for a treat visually. And that's my video, you guys. I hope it helps. I hope maybe, it gives you more to think about, maybe more to be excited about. In the ways of comparing the two, we can love both of them at the same time, but just in different ways. And I can't wait to play both of them. I am so for this battle. I can't wait. There doesn't even have to be a winner. I'm winning, okay? I'm the winner. Anyways, that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.